Even though he was born into a wealthy family, Jay chose to live on his own in Los Angeles. He had never gotten along with his family, especially his father, and leaving home felt like his only option. Life in LA, however, quickly went downhill. Jay fell into a cycle of daily gambling, constant trouble, and mounting debt. With no way out, he ended up working as a janitor at a mental hospital, far from the life he once imagined. One day, Jay went to a bar and unexpectedly ran into a loan shark named Vincent. Vincent demanded his money, but Jay admitted he had nothing to pay. Vincent gave him until Friday, making it clear that if the debt was not settled by then, his men would take care of Jay permanently.
How you doing?
I'm good,
Long
Mr.
time
Vincent.
no see.
Long time, huh?
Later that day at work, Jay tried borrowing money from a coworker, only to find out his coworker was broke as well. Instead, he suggested that Jay return home for his younger brother Jerry's wedding and ask his father for money. Taking that advice, Jay called his parents and told them he was coming back to New Orleans. During the call, he lied, claiming he worked as an administrator at a major mental hospital and had a beautiful girlfriend who was a nurse. Hearing this, his father insisted that Jay bring her along, leaving Jay no choice but to agree.
Okay, you know what? We'll be there, okay?
Okay.
Back at the hospital, Jay's lie pushed him to flirt with the nurses, hoping one of them would play along. None of them were interested. They all knew his reputation as a drunk gambler who could not be trusted.
You're single because you're an asshole.
During a break, Jay was summoned to the office of Dr. Bertelman. The doctor was furious after discovering Jay had given patients magazines and alcohol.
I go on the internet.
I know.
They know my record. They know your record.
She's nice. They're my friends.
He sternly warned Jay to stop interacting with the patients altogether. After that confrontation, Dr. Bertelman met a new patient named Daisy. Since her mother's death, Daisy had been confused and terrified, convinced her mother was haunting her. Because of that fear, she was admitted to the mental hospital. That night, Daisy suddenly began screaming in her room. Jay rushed in and found another patient pretending to be a doctor and giving her medication. Jay knocked the man out, warned Daisy to be more careful, and then left the hospital.
Where's your mom?
Doesn't matter. I gotta get out of here. You gonna be okay?
As Jay was leaving, Daisy suddenly appeared behind him and said she wanted to go with him. Jay refused and gave her money for a taxi or a call home before walking away. But guilt got the better of him, and he eventually invited Daisy to join him at a club.
Okay, take a seat. Just don't move, okay?
At the club, Jay tried to hire dancers to pretend to be his girlfriend and attend his brother's wedding. None of them were interested. Not long after, a security guard approached him and said Daisy had been bothering the dancers. As a result, both of them were kicked out of the club.
Yo, Sweet, you gotta get out. Yo, you need to leave now.
Okay, take it easy. We're going.
Lost and out of options, Jay suddenly came up with a plan. He decided to make Daisy his fake girlfriend. The next day, he invited her to travel with him to New Orleans. That choice changes everything. This is Barefoot. Throughout the trip, Jay kept reminding Daisy to pretend she worked as a nurse at the mental hospital. Although she was confused, Daisy agreed to go along with it.
Say, I'm a nurse.
I'm not supposed to lie.
Not a lie, it's pretending. Which is fine.
On the plane, Daisy caused one disturbance after another. She shouted in the bathroom, turned on lights while passengers were sleeping, and even wandered into business class and took a seat without permission. Not long after, they arrived at Jay's parents' house. Daisy was introduced to Jay's mother, who asked her to rest in the guest room before dinner.
This is Daisy.
Oh, yes, hello. Welcome. No. Jay will have his room.
Jay stepped outside for a smoke. Soon after, Jay's father joined him and struck up a conversation. He proudly showed off his garage, displaying his collection of cars, including a rare new one he had just purchased.
Mom said you were coming, but I didn't believe it.
Yeah, no, I'm here. How you doing?
Good.
That evening during dinner, Jay's brother Jerry asked about Jay's current job. Jay lied again, claiming he worked as an administrator at the largest mental hospital in the area. Daisy could only smile and play along. Jay then mentioned that he planned to start a new business and needed extra funding. His father was clearly doubtful. Daisy quickly stepped in and helped convince him, and in the end, his father agreed.
You're a part of this?
Yes,
I also taught you to have a plan.
he actually does have a plan.
And let's talk about it later.
Jay was grateful to Daisy for saving him once again. The next morning, Jay was woken up by his mother, who found it strange that Daisy was suddenly cleaning the bathroom. Jay went to check on her and asked why she was doing it. Daisy explained that it used to be her daily routine at home. Her mother had always told her that if she wanted to be loved, she had to do housework. Then, without warning, Daisy admitted that she had recently killed her mother. The confession completely shocked Jay.
She's dead. Because I killed her.
A short while later, as they were getting ready for Jerry's wedding, Jay's mother noticed that Daisy was wearing something too revealing. She asked Daisy to change into one of her own outfits. When Jay saw Daisy that night, he was stunned by how beautiful she looked, and his heart started racing. The wedding began, and once again Daisy caused a scene by picking up the flowers that had been carefully laid out along the aisle. Jay had to step in to calm things down. After that, Daisy wandered around the venue, introducing herself to the guests. Once people realized she was Jay's girlfriend, they began sharing all kinds of unpleasant stories about him, painting him as a notorious playboy with a questionable past. Later, Daisy approached Jay and invited him to dance. They went inside and danced together with energy and excitement.
I've never even danced with anyone.
While they were enjoying the moment, Jay's mother pulled him away, leaving Daisy to dance with Jay's father. It was then that Jay's father asked Daisy about Jay's real job. Daisy refused to answer. Jay kept pressuring her, and the tension built up until Daisy suddenly suffered a panic attack. Because of what happened, Jay's father kept insisting that Daisy should be taken back to the hospital. Jay strongly disagreed and claimed that Daisy was perfectly fine. Eventually, Jay snapped after listening to his father for too long. He finally told the truth, admitting that he was only a janitor at a mental hospital and that Daisy was actually one of the patients there. The revelation instantly made his father furious.
I'm a janitor in a mental hospital.
She's a patient.
Not long after, Jay and Daisy decided to leave. Once they were back at the house, another problem surfaced. Since Daisy was officially a mental hospital patient, they could no longer return by plane. With no other choice, Jay stole his father's brand new car and used it to drive back to Los Angeles. That night, they left New Orleans behind. During the drive, Daisy excitedly talked nonstop, amazed by all the expensive cars she saw along the way. Her constant chatter only added to Jay's stress. Eventually, Jay made a reckless decision and dropped Daisy off at a station. He told her he needed to make a phone call and then left her there alone. Things got even worse. After abandoning Daisy, Jay planned to sell the car. That plan failed when the sale was rejected, as the car was suspected to be stolen. While driving, Jay received an angry call from Dr. Bertelman, who was furious that Jay had taken a patient away. Jay, overwhelmed and irritated, ended the call without listening. Suddenly, Jay noticed Daisy's shoes still sitting in the car. The sight filled him with guilt, and he immediately decided to turn back.
God damn it!
Meanwhile, Daisy stayed at the station, patiently waiting for Jay to return as night slowly fell. After a long while, a security guard noticed Daisy sitting there alone and approached her to offer help. Daisy politely declined, explaining that she was waiting for her boyfriend. As it grew late, Daisy finally walked up to the guard and asked to be taken home. At that moment, she caught a glimpse of someone approaching. She turned around and saw Jay coming back for her. Overwhelmed with emotion, Daisy broke down in tears. The next day, Jay took Daisy to a supermarket and asked her to shop while he waited outside smoking. As he stood there, he suddenly noticed a police car passing by. Panicking, Jay rushed inside, grabbed Daisy, and pulled her out. Seeing them flee, the police immediately gave chase. Without hesitation, Jay stepped on the gas, turning it into a full-blown pursuit.
He's even closer! He's still following!
There's a thing.
Yep, got it.
Hold on to something!
That night, Jay was exhausted and Daisy did not know how to drive, so Jay pulled over to rest for a moment. Not long after, Daisy woke him up after spotting a police car approaching. Realizing the danger, Jay quickly hid. The police knocked on the car door several times and Daisy opened it. The officer searched the car but found nothing suspicious. He then moved off to search for Jay in the nearby forest. Daisy quickly warned Jay that the police were looking for him among the trees. Thinking fast, Daisy ran to the police car and threw the keys far away. After that, she rushed back and urged Jay to leave immediately.
What did you do?
I threw his keys away.
You are hardcore.
I am.
Soon after, they arrived at a campground and decided to blend in with the group of people staying there. Inside the car, Jay suddenly found himself unable to sleep. He moved closer to Daisy and spent some time talking with her. Daisy brought up the rumors about Jay, the stories claiming he was a playboy who had been involved with other people's wives. Jay admitted the truth, explaining that he had done those things out of desperation, simply to get money. Not long after, Jay tried to rest. The next day, they continued their journey.
Bye. So I think about you. Love.
This is the best day of my life.
At a gas station parking lot, Jay attempted to teach Daisy how to drive. Daisy kept complaining that she could not do it. Jay reassured her, telling her that she was capable and only lacked confidence. Soon after, Jay received another call from Dr. Bertelman, who was once again furious that Daisy had not returned. Jay explained that they were already on their way back. Without meaning to, Daisy overheard the conversation. She became extremely angry with Jay and tried to drive off on her own, which ended in a crash.
You're driving in circles, like literally it's brake for slow! Daisy, stop! You're driving like a crazy person! Brake for slow!
Afterward, Jay took Daisy to a restaurant to calm her down. He asked about what she had been going through. Daisy opened up and explained that on the night her mother died, she kept hearing her mother screaming. Terrified, she was too afraid to go near her. The next morning, Daisy found her mother dead for no clear reason.
Why do I have to go back to the hospital then?
I never wanted to take you back. You didn't kill her. That is not you killing your mother. That is her dying.
Later that afternoon, Jay returned to his apartment and was shocked to find it completely destroyed. Looking out the window, he saw Vincent's men waiting outside, ready to attack him. Realizing the danger, Jay rushed to the hospital for safety, but as he tried to enter, he was stopped by Dr. Bertelman and his co-workers. With no other option, Jay was forced to leave. Overwhelmed by his problems and drained of any will to keep going, Jay reached his breaking point. He decided to end his life on the train tracks. That attempt was stopped by a train worker who immediately called the hospital. Dr. Bertelman brought Jay back to the hospital, where Jay was placed under care and rehabilitation. Not long after, Jay asked Dr. Bertelman to release Daisy, convinced that she did not suffer from any mental illness. After hearing Daisy's story, even Dr. Bertelman was left uncertain. Meanwhile, Daisy learned that Jay had been released from jail. She asked the guards for permission to see him, but they refused. The rejection overwhelmed her, and she broke down, crying uncontrollably. That night, Jay slept in a special room arranged by Dr. Bertelman. While he was fast asleep, one of Vincent's men who had tracked him down suddenly attacked and tried to strangle him. Fortunately, another patient witnessed the assault and rushed in to save Jay just in time. The next day, Dr. Bertelman visited Jay, who was being treated for his injuries from the attack. He came to apologize for misunderstanding Daisy. It turned out Jay had been right all along. Daisy was not the one suffering from schizophrenia. The illness had belonged to her mother.
At all. So you can release her. I need to keep an eye on her.
Over the next few days, Dr. Bertelman continued to observe Daisy, even after realizing she was fine. Once he was fully convinced that she showed no signs of mental illness, he made the decision to release her from the hospital. Upon hearing the news, Daisy quickly packed her belongings and said goodbye to everyone, especially Dr. Bertelman, who had finally set her free.
Thank you.
At the same time, after recovering and preparing to leave the hospital, Jay received a letter from his father. Inside was a large check, along with a note asking Jay to use the money to pay off all his debts. His father also invited him to come home and live with the family again. Without hesitation, Jay rushed to find Daisy. When they reunited, all the tension melted away in a warm embrace that spoke louder than words. Together, they walked away from the hospital and stepped into a new chapter of their lives. So the moral of the story is, if you lie about your job, fake a girlfriend, steal your dad's car, and run from loan sharks, the universe will still fix your life for you, but it will absolutely embarrass you first.